Is going on, all my friends? My name is Jason Kirchie and welcome to the 4Runner channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Man, you guys are in for a real treat today. At Overland Expo West, I had the great fortune to spend time with Nick Atwell with Backwoods Overland. And I was camped right across from him. His setup is the most, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, it's the most inspirational setup that I've ever seen. I mean, I literally, like, as I'm editing this walk around and as I spent time with him, he has the most complete, most inspirational, most awesome camping overlanding setup I've ever seen, ever. And I mean, like, attention to detail. I mean, talk about on point. You guys are in for a real treat. Hopefully you get a lot of really, really good inspiration out of this like I did. Hopefully it fuels more ideas to help make your 4Runner better. I know I'm taking a lot away from this as well. I wanted to kind of start out, Nick. So sort of our format for doing walkarounds is I like to start out with kind of going from the ground up. But first, I kind of wanted to hear a little bit of backstory. Are you Maryland?
Maryland.
Is that what I remember?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How many miles is that from here?
Probably, we didn't come directly, but probably I would assume close to 2,500, 3,000 miles.
Wow. And so how long have you been traveling out here from Maryland?
We've been traveling since May 3rd, 2nd or 3rd. And so we went up to Glacier National Park.
Really?
And then came down from Glacier. We did Badlands first, and then Glacier, then Yellowstone, and then came down, did the White Rim Canyonlands.
Nice.
That was
done a portion of that. It's gorgeous.
Yep, one of my most favorite places probably.
Yeah.
You know? Left the White Rim, came down, and we did Grand Staircase Escalante.
Okay.
That was pretty incredible.
So what's your background in all this? I mean, did you grow up doing this kind of stuff, or did you just kind of...
So I was into four-wheeling pretty early after getting my driver's license. My first rig was actually a Ford Explorer Sport,
okay,
two-door. And then after the Explorer, I've had a 40 series Land Cruiser. I have a 62 series Land Cruiser. I've had multiple 62s, and I had an 80 series right before I bought this.
Okay.
And the 80 series ended up on 37s, and 7.5 inch lift.
Nice.
So got rid of that, started over with this. Figured it would be more practical.
So why the 4Runner? Like, I guess give me some idea on like what your line of thought was, because you had a Land Cruiser. Why not get maybe like a 100 series Land Cruiser or maybe some other type of SUV? You know, I mean, what drew you to the 4Runner?
Well, we have a Sequoia.
Okay.
And the Sequoia's big. The Land Cruisers were also big. The 200 series, I'd love to have a 200. They're very expensive, so price, money. So, the 4Runner kind of fit the bill. It's the right size. It's a little bigger than, I like the FJ Cruisers a lot also, but they're two-door. You have a family, my wife, 2 kids, my daughter's 7 months old, my son's 3.5.
Yeah.
So
you did all that with 7-month-old?
Mm-hmm.
That's
it worked out really well.
Man, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, she actually cut her first tooth on the trip.
Really?
So we gave her a beef stick. She was gnawing on the beef stick. That's awesome. But she did really well. Yeah. I was very impressed.
Let's start with the 4Runner. Let's go with the tires. So it looks like you're running 295 70/17s. Are these mud?
They are the MTs.
The mud trains, okay.
Yep. Yeah, the Nitto Trail Grappler MT. I give you my honest opinion on it. I would stick to a 285.
Okay.
There's so many modifications that you need to do. Fender cutting, the body mount chop. There's just a lot of things that you have to do.
So talk to me about the body mount chop, because I get that question a lot with my 285s. I didn't have to do hardly any modifications. I had to do the fender liner mod, but it was simple, straightforward, and fairly common. Mm-hmm. But what is the body mount chop? Chop.
So the body mount chop is, there's a body mount located right here behind the tire.
Okay.
And it comes out kind of a, rounded shape.
Okay.
You essentially have to cut that rounded shape off.
Kind of grind it off.
Well, I went in there with a bandsaw, portable bandsaw, portaband, cut it off, cut that little slab off, and then you're supposed to weld another piece in to kind of fill it and reseal it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't welded the piece in. I just painted it.
Don't let me forget to get a close-up of that in a minute, so that we can overlay it, like probably right now.
Yep. But that'll give them a good idea of what you have to cut.
Okay.
And then what you have to do is go back in and weld a piece back in it.
Okay. So you have Icon wheels.
Those are the Alphas.
And these are the 17s. So talk to me about your suspension setup.
So it's kind of been an ongoing development with the suspension.
Seems like they always are.
Yeah, I mean, you start, the rig was a lot lighter when I started off.
Sure.
So Old Man Emu calls for a certain spec spring. They actually make 3 springs that they spec out for the 2010 and on 4Runner.
Right.
They have the light, medium duty, and then the heavy duty for the 4Runner.
Right.
These are actually heavier than that. The shocks are just the Old Man Emu Nitro Chargers.
Okay, so it's the same thing. You're running the same setup that I am, basically. Yeah.
Yep. So I have the Icon billet upper control arms.
Okay.
And then I have the Icon billet upper and lower rear links.
Okay.
And the adjustable sway bar.
Okay. Let's back up. What 4Runner? What is this? Tell us about your 4Runner. What?
It's a 2013 limited. So it has the all-wheel drive, center differential locker.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
That's kind of the difference between the trail and the limiteds. Is that
I didn't know that.
The trails are a 2-wheel drive,
right?
Switchable 4-wheel drive.
Right.
These are more along the lines of the Land Cruiser setup with the all-wheel drive and then center differential locker.
What spaces are you running?
They are Spider tracks.
Okay. The Spider Tracks 1.25.
I just like the stance that they give you.
Yeah.
So
you're doing that in addition to this, so it gives you a much wider stance.
Yep.
So we get tires, we get suspension. What about? So are you running sliders? It looks like, are these?
They're DeMello.
DeMello,
the
okay.
DeMello X-wing.
Okay.
Sliders.
Star Wars sliders.
Yep. I love them. They were the look I wanted. I was a little worried until I got them on.
Okay.
And then once I put them on the truck, I instantly fell in love with them.
You were worried look-wise?
I was worried about the looks because they're a very unique looking slider compared to what's been out on the market. But like I said, I put them on there and killer. As soon as I bolted them up, I was blown away. I love them.
Okay.
Yep. And then the other protection I have is I run RCI sliders. I mean RCI skids
okay.
all the way back.
Okay.
I have them on the lower control arms and then from the front to the back.
Okay. And you have steel or aluminum?
They're aluminum, with the exception of the differential.
Okay.
The differential skid is steel.
Okay.
They don't offer it in aluminum.
Do they not? Okay.
No.
Any other armor?
So front bumper.
Okay.
I would consider that armor.
Sure.
That's an ARB.
Why ARB and not like one of the other million options that are out there?
So I'm a huge Land Cruiser fan.
Right.
Own plenty of Land Cruisers, and ARB's always been kind of a staple in the off-road community, especially when you're looking at the older Land Cruisers. So it was primarily for the look, just kind of ARB's got that look that they have.
Right.
And I just love them. They're also a quality product. I mean, they're tested and been
How
around.
much does this bumper weigh? Do you know, approximately? Ballpark.
I want to say they're around 200.
200
So they're heavy.
It's a big, yeah.
Yeah, they're very heavy. And then you have the winch. So.
What winch are you running?
It's an M8000 Warren.
Okay, so it's a Warren M8000.
It's kind of their workhorse. No frills, no gadgets. It's just a basic 8,000 pound winch. I do think it's undersized for the rig.
Okay.
I put it on originally and would love to upgrade it at some
point. It's an 8,000
point.
pound winch?
It's an 8,000 pound.
Okay.
Yep. I'd love to get a 10,000 pound in there.
Okay.
Eventually, I'd probably do that.
talk to me about, so are the headlight housing, is this your factory headlight housing, or did you do something different? I don't remember them having projectors.
So this is a custom built headlight.
Okay.
And it's done by a guy who I'm actually really good friends with, Chris Eucnis.
Okay.
He has a company that retrofits the headlights, and he does an awesome job. You basically give him the specs of what you want. Okay. And then he takes care of it for you.
Talk to me about the rest of your lighting, because you've got a lot going on. Actually, you have a lot going on everywhere for lighting, from what I can see from here.
I guess when I first started, the first lighting addition that I put on was actually this is an aftermarket. I can't remember the name of the company that makes it, but it's just a kind of an insert, and then the Rigid Industries dually pods bolt into that. So that was my first lighting upgrade that I did on the vehicle. And then I kind of went crazy. So most of what I have on here is light force. Up front, I have the HTX, the DL230 HTX. The DL230 is 80 watts of LED per light. Might get these specs wrong, but pretty close to 80 watts. And then a 70 or 80 watt HID in the center spot. So the outside is your flood, the inner is your spot.
Interesting.
And they were incredible. We did a 5,800 mile trek up into Quebec, and if it weren't for the lights, honestly, the strain on your eyes at night is just so much that we were pushing so many miles that if it weren't for the lights, I don't think I could have done it, honestly. I mean, they really make a difference. They're a game changer. The projectors are HIDs. Okay. And then the high beams are LED. These are running lights. Okay. Yeah, they're amber. Okay. Sort of like your parking light. Sure. And then down here you have the light force. Those are the rock lights that they make. Really nice for like when I pulled into camp here. You know, you don't want to blind people, so you can turn your headlights off and you can still see a little bit with the rock lights and not blind people. Right. So they come in handy, especially. And then if you have any trail fixes, you know, you can pop them on and they light pretty good under here. Light force pods, and then I have the light force lights on the sides here, one in the front, one in the rear, and that's primarily just for spotlighting trails to one side or the other. I also use them inside of the awning there to light up the awning at night inside. Up top here is a Baja Designs, the 40-inch bar that they make. That thing, I didn't think that I needed to upgrade my lighting because of the HTXs. I mean, they really are amazing. But I really love the look of the 40-inch bar. So I didn't do it really out of necessity, but now that I have it, it's one of those things like cable TV. Once you have it, you don't want to live without it. Right. So I do use it a lot. That thing's amazing. It's a great complement to the HTXs. The HTXs, they'll burst light out, not real far. Right. And then their spot is like one of the best spots probably in the industry. I mean, it goes on as far as you can see. This is kind of like the middle ground to that. So you have a good spread with the ambers, and then the white lights right in front of you amazingly. So do you have any engine modifications? I mean, you've got the snorkel. Is there anything other than the snorkel that you've kind of done with regards to? The only thing I've done, occasionally I'll run a K&N air filter, the pre-filter that you see going into the snorkel. That's made by Cyclone. Okay. And basically all that does is that takes the dust particles and spins them to the outside of the canister and ejects them before they have a chance to go into your intake. When we got back from Canada, our Canada trip that we took up in Quebec, I looked at my air filter and I was blown away at how ridiculous. I mean, there were so many bugs, just so much stuff in there that must have just gone right into the, into the snorkel face. I do want to upgrade, put gears in it. I'll probably do 488 gears.
Hey!
So.
Dad, I have a present for you.
You do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
For
what do
you
you have?
guys.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Wow. That's awesome.
You can keep it.
Talk to me about power. Do you have one battery, two batteries, different batteries? What do you have?
So right now it's a dual battery, 2 batteries in the front. I've used the, I believe it was Shockworks that made the exchange, and then you you have to take your secondary air injection.
Stuff is in my shoe.
And hey, no. Okay, so as far as the dual battery setup, I can't remember. I know Shockworks has some of the mounts.
Hey, can you go get me my sunglasses? Back.
You got your shades? Nice shades. So what size batteries are they? Group 31s?
They are.
Do you have all of your electronics, lighting, and everything wired to one battery and everything wired to, and then just the other ones like your start battery, if you will? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So all my accessories that I've added to the vehicle, post factory, you know, from the factory.
Sure.
Are
Hold
all,
on.
Okay.
We'll hold on for you. What is this wire that's coming along here that's going up?
I have a light force strip up inside the rooftop tent.
Okay, so you just ran.
So I just run it down after I pop my tent open. I run it down and plug it in. There's a space in the front there where we can plug it in.
You got a solar panel up in the front on the hood. What is that?
So that's an 80 watt lens sun. It's actually a marine solar panel that you use. You know, they use on boats. And so what I did there is I wrapped the hood, or I had the hood wrapped in the center, and then 3M taped the lens sun panel on there so that I don't have to set it up.
It's got power, lighting. You said you're running an S-Pod. What is the S-Pod? Which switch is that? He's fine.
So I didn't want the touch screen only because when I'm driving, I can just reach down. You'll see where I have it. It's next to my arm, you know, right in the center console. It's right below there. So I can just reach down and feel the individual buttons. Okay. And turn on and off any lights that I want without looking ahead, you know, without looking down, and still keep my focus on the road.
All right, talk to me about your roof rack.
So the roof rack's 4Runner. The game changer with the 4Runner, there's a lot of things with the 4Runner that I like, but the game changer for me was the table. The fact that I can carry a table, you know, a nice full-size camp table, and slide it right under my roof rack that was just incredible for me. They also, you know, they have every accessory known to man. Yeah. Their support's incredible. You know, I have customers that buy the 4Runner product from me, and I've never had an issue with 4Runner in regards to customer service. They've been great.
What all do you have on your rack? So I see you've got your light mounted under there. You've got a box in the front with Max Tracks on that. What's in the box? Is it just storage, or what box is that?
So that's a Pelican box.
Do you have it hard mounted up there?
It is hard mounted. And then I have the Max Tracks pins that I drilled into the top to hold the Max Tracks.
What do you keep in the box?
Ladder.
A ladder?
No ladder. So all the awning walls go into there. The annex goes into there. I have recovery rope. All my other recovery gear is down low because it's heavier.
What all do you have up there? You got your box, you got the Max Tracks on top of the box, and then just the tent?
Yeah.
You're kind of limited on space.
And then lighting. Yep. The nice thing about running this Darchie tent, size-wise, is that it's perfect space. You'll see after I pack up, I can either carry my chairs up there, these ARB chairs, or I can throw firewood up there. Actually, in this trip, we had firewood on the bottom and then the chairs on the top.
On top of the tent?
Mm-hmm. No, not on the tent.
Hey!
Yes, sir.
Cool stuff.
Okay.
We have to follow them.
Can Jason and I finish talking?
No.
Please. Right now, I'm running the Darchie. It's an Australian brand. It's a Highline 1600, I believe they call it.
It's closed.
Don't quote me on that again.
All right, so we missed one thing, and that's your rear bumper. Tell me what you got.
So the rear bumper is Southern style off-road.
Okay.
It's their first generation bumper. Very happy with it. You know, I have an engineering mind, so there's things that I would change, but it fit the bill for me. Right. It does everything I've ever asked it to do, and it's a beefy bumper. So
let's move on to camping, because we were taking a quick break here, and I was walking around, and you just wait. Just wait. This is an we haven't even started the coolness yet. Okay, so you're running a Darchie rooftop tent, and that's all fine and dandy. It's a rooftop tent, it's got a mattress, you know, it's got its pros and cons just like every rooftop tent. You've got a vestibule room here, you can see that. Here's the thing that I'm impressed with. Talk to me about this awning.
So it's the Darchie 270 with the wall kit.
Okay.
And so there's 3 individual walls that it comes with. You know, you can put them all on. You can put one on for shade, They have doors in them. You can open up the doors like this, kind of bring them up. I have brackets that I had specially made to have it sit higher. Let me get your hat.
Nice hat.
It's a runner hat.
I love that hat. It keeps your ears from getting sunburned and everything, huh?
Yeah.
So this awning is, I'm pretty much sold on them. Pretty sure I'm gonna swap out the Foxwing for one of these guys because there's a lot more coverage here than what I get with my Foxwing. And the poles, everything's integrated, right?
Yep, everything's integrated. With the exception of the walls have to be stored separately.
Sure, yeah, the wall, yeah. But, and you wouldn't expect that. But the main thing is the poles, you know, because with the Foxwing I gotta pull everything out and kind of, and the Foxwing's a good awning. I'm not slamming the Foxwing awning, but this is where, you know, evolution happens. And competition comes in and one-ups somebody else. This is a really neat option.
You want your pad, buddy?
Oh, I think it has service now.
Maybe.
Okay, let's do it.
What did you say?
Let's do it.
So walk me back into the back. Why don't we walk back there? Why don't you show me what you got going on back there? Because it's pretty crazy.
So a couple different ways you can enter. You could come through this door, or you can just squeeze through like I like to do, so that way I don't have to open and close the door all the time. But essentially, this is the 4Runner Pro table.
Okay.
That slides right up under your roof rack and then locks in. So there's two things from 4Runner that are my favorite items that they've come out with. This is one. The second thing is just this simple utensil set.
Oh wow.
You know, it comes with all these utensils, and I think they're only about $50. You know, for $50, you have a family of 4.
You want to know the other thing that I really like about your setup in here is that all of my stuff on the back, now I could put more panels up, but all of my stuff in the back has been constantly dusty. And I bet you nothing in here, because dust is being kicked up all over the place out here at Expo West. And I'm noticing none of your stuff is dusty back here because you've got so much coverage. Look at this. So here's the opening right there. And actually there's my setup right there. And it's, you're like dried in, man.
Yep.
You're like totally sealed in. That's pretty cool. And there's so much space. Look at all this space. I mean, look at this. There's like, you can have a party in here.
3 big guys in here.
It's like a house. All right, let's go to the back. You gotta show me this stuff.
So, this is the shower setup. You know, we hang our towels here. Your shower nozzle here. The really neat thing about this base camp unit, so the cool thing about this is when you turn your water off, it shuts off the pump and the propane.
Really?
So you don't overheat your water, you don't superheat your water, and you don't have to worry about being burnt. You'll see that I carry 2 5-gallon jerry cans for water, and that can shower my family 1 can per shower. So my whole family will go through 1 can in a round. 2 showers for all of us in 2 cans. So you also have, you know, room for a cot in here, which is nice. If you don't want to get up in the hot tent and you want to take a nap during the day, you can go up in the cot. I use this as a little pantry for the food and stuff. Right. Once I get into camp. You have the ARB fridge freezer, pulls out. On the Alu cab, drop down, slide. This is a drawer setup that I make, and it pulls out pretty deep. I have some recovery stuff back here actually in the back. Right. Generally I keep a spare oil filter. Okay. And the back, I actually, when I built it, I made it purposely to fit enough oil to fill the rig and an oil filter in a separate compartment in the back. But right now we just use it as a pantry. Water, peanuts, you know, cashews, whatever you want. Syrups, spices, all that good stuff. This is where I keep all my cooking equipment. Okay. So my stove, all my pots and pans, my propane, anything I use to cook will fit in here.
All right, comms. Talk to me about comms. I know these things tend to run a little long, but this is very detailed, and it's like that on purpose.
First of all, before we go into comms, just real quick, these are bar tacks.
I need seat covers.
So these are actually made for a Jeep.
Okay.
You have zipper pocket in the front. You have all the MOLLE panels on the sides. You know, you keep extra GMRS radio, knife, whatever you want. MOLLE panels on the rear, so you have all your bags and stuff. You can keep everything in. iPhone holder, RAM mount, iPad, my comms, GMRS, CB radio. They're both in the center console.
Okay.
So you just flip up the center console. I have the wireless CB mic. That's about it for comms. And the interior.
So these seat covers, they're made for Jeep, but they just it looks like they fit really well.
So they fit really well. A buddy of mine had them in his Jeep, and I fell in love with them. So I called Bartac up, and I was like, "Do you make these for the 4Runner?" "Oh, we're gonna make them soon."
Yeah.
But they hadn't made them, and so I just went ahead and bought the Jeep ones.
And they fit
I test fitted with a buddy of mine's, and they fit great. Yeah, they fit great. I mean, they even have like a little...
Nick and Logan, thank you so very much for spending so much time with us today and walking us through your incredible 4Runner. I mean, there's a lot that I take away from it, and I hope there's a lot that you guys can take away from it as well. So for a living, what did you say? You're an electrician?
I'm a master electrician.
Okay. And then, but you have a side gig, and you actually sell a lot of this stuff as well. It's Backwoods Overland, right?
BackwoodsOverland.com.
So that's kind of his passion project, I guess.
Kind of a retirement, a retirement hope, so that I can be anywhere and retire anywhere in the U.S.